Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Castlekeeper Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video is going to be a Castles and Crusades character race spotlight. Today I'm going to be looking at elves in Castles and Crusades. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this. And we are going to switch views and go the um, right into the PDF. So here we have elf. So elves are an ancient, almost timeless race. They embody the grace and beauty of the natural world, as well as its strength and at times its unremitting wrath and fury. Elves live exceedingly long lives, giving them a degree of patience unknown to other races, affording them the opportunity to acquire a vast knowledge of the world and its history. This makes elves well informed and sage like in their depth of knowledge and perspective. This, combined with their natural dexterity and lithe movements, make them appear almost ethereal to those who behold them for the first time. Description: elves vary in size and coloration depending on their nature. Generally, elves are light skinned and pale in color, although light green skin hues are not unknown. At maturity, they average 5 foot 6 inches in height and weigh around 115 pounds. Their ethereal nature lends them an unnatural grace and beauty. Elves have thin, sharp facial features with large, searching eyes that can vary widely in color. Their ears are long, tapering to a point at the ends, and they often wear their hair long and unrestrained. Personality: elves, being long lived, possess tremendous patience. An overriding sense of near immortality affects on an elf's every thought and action. Other races misinterpret this patience as indolence, laziness, and an uncaring attitude, since other races cannot afford to wait decades to act on a matter. Elves know that they have time to act, for the centuries stretch before them, where other races have mere decades. When pressed, however, elves are capable of quick deliberation and speedy action, though usually not as quick as their short lived allies might prefer. Elves relish beauty, both natural and crafted. Their far-sighted vision allows them to see the shapes of things to come, and more, they can see the shapes of things that could be, where others might see a young sapling that one day must grow into a great oak. An elf sees a sapling that, molded with care and patience, can grow into a tree of great trunk and arching branch that will lord over the forest. This sight grants them the patience to make a craft of their natural environment. They shape the rocks where they dwell and cultivate trees and gardens over many years, thus molding their surroundings to create a garden of beauty in the natural world. They apply this same care to shaping and drawing out the natural beauty in all things, from simple stones and gems to gardens, forests, and hills. Likewise, the same attention is given to the crafting of weapons and armor, to spells, and even to the care of beasts. All things flourish under an elf's care if given time and safety from the world's interruptions. An elf's shaping of the world is accomplished with time. Time is an essential element in creating any item of beauty, and time is something many elves have. The same applies to an elf's use of magic. When magic is crafted by an elf, it is treated with the same care and patience that elves apply to all things. Time is the forge upon which arcane forces are shaped and bent to perfection. Flawless and powerful magical spells and items are greatly valued and coveted by the other peoples of the world and by elves as well. When completing, elven magics are of divine perfection and immense power, but more than this, their beauty is beyond comparison, and oftentimes beauty is the source of its magical power. This love for beauty and the desire to shape the world brings elves their greatest joy and greatest sorrow. Their timeless vision allows them to see both the beauty and the tragedy in all things, so that elves are filled with overflowing joy and limitless sorrow. Looking into their future, they see their lives and creations becoming marred and spoiled by others, be they dwarf, human, orc, or even the ravages of time. These qualities imbue most elves with a deep fatalism. Their near immortality creates a peculiar unease with death, for their attachment to the living world is more profound and deeply felt than that of most other races. Together, these conflicting notions of time create a burgeoning and even contradictory desire to control and even stop the advancement of time, the forges of their lives' creations, and the crucible of their doom. In many ways, elves become mired in their history and change little as the world changes around them. At times, this leads to elves to avoid many situations that don't directly threaten them or that they feel would bring unnecessary harm to their creations. Racial affinities. Most elves prefer the company of other elves. They associate well with halflings and gnomes, but generally do not live in close proximity to settlements of those races. Humans present interesting dilemmas for elves to ponder, for humans combine the most noble and ignoble aspects of all creatures. As such, elves are very selective about their human associates and have a guarded approach to their interactions with humans. Dwarves are treated with an aloofness bordering on disdain, for elves find them nearly unfathomable, save for one commonality: a dislike of all goblinoid races. Environment. Elves prefer living in serene environments far from turbulent, troubled lands. Often associating with forest and wilderness areas, elves will also live in open savanna or dense urban environments of their own making. Elvish cities are different than human settlements, having more in kin with the dwarven settlements. Both races tend to incorporate natural surroundings into both their architecture and living spaces in their communities. Racial traits and abilities. Enhanced senses. Elvish physiology is blessed with enhanced vision and hearing. Elves can see farther than humans in just about every circumstance, including torchlight, and can see clearly enough to read a road sign or spot a shield device upon up to 2 miles distant when outside during the day. They can also hear very well and receive a +2 bonus to all checks involving listening. Twilight vision. Even under starlight, moonlight, or torchlight, elves have exceedingly good vision. They can distinguish color and detail under these conditions for up to 1 mile, but only if they are outside. Moving silently, which is dexterity based. This ability allows an elf to move silently in wilderness areas. The elf can move up to one half normal speed at no penalty. At more than one half, and the character's up to the character's full speed, the character suffers a -5 penalty to the check. It's particularly impossible, -20 penalty to move silently while running or charging. Spell resistance, wisdom. Elves, like elves, are particularly resistant to spells and spell-like abilities that charm or unnaturally cause sleep. When making saving throws against these types of spells, an elf receives a +10 bonus. Going on, spot hidden doors, which is a wisdom based. Elvish vision and keen senses allow them to spot secret, hidden, and concealed doorways. An elf merely passing within 5 feet of a secret, hidden, or concealed door is entitled to a wisdom check to spot the door, as if the elf were actively looking for it. When an elf is actively searching for such doors, the bonus to the wisdom check is a +2. Weapon training. Elves are taught the ways of combat at a young age, and their long lives allow them to become skilled in weapons favored by their society. Elves begin play with a +1 bonus to hit at, with one of the following weapons: a composite longbow, a composite shortbow, longbow, shortbow, longsword, or short sword. Elves' languages are Common, Elf, Dwarf, Gnome, Goblin, Halfling, and Orc. They're medium sized, they move 30 feet. Their typical classes are Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Wizard, Druid, Knight, and Bard. Attribute modifiers, generic attribute modifiers are +1 to Dexterity, -1 to Constitution. Their Ranger modifiers are +2 to Silent Move, +2 to Find Traps. Their Rogue and Assassin modifiers are +2 to Listen, +2 to Move Silently, and +2 to Finding Traps. So there you have. So there you have the elf class. So this race, I'm sorry, the elvish race. So this character race in Castles and Crusades is more closely um, similar to that of Dungeons and Dragons. So I see the one of the least bit breaks from how this race is depicted in Castles and Crusades than what I had seen with half elves and with half orcs in particular. So yeah, if you're one of your favorite races of playing in a D&D esque type of high fantasy game is an elf, well, here is your very typical elf as a playable character race. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I apologize for the groundswork being taken care of outside right now, the weed whacking, but hopefully that'll clear up very quickly, and we can get back to you being able to hear less of background noise. So anyway, but thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will continue this series of going back and forth between character race spotlights for Castles and Crusades and character class spotlights for Castles and Crusades. So um, the next class that I will be covering, I believe, will be fighter, and that will be Thursday's video. So as always, thanks for joining. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Like the video if you like the video. Leave your questions or comments in the comments section there. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. And next big event that I'm planning on attending is going to be ShireCon in September, and so I'm really stoked about that. And looking to join a game as a player. So if you are a DM, a GM, a castle keeper, and you are looking to run a game online, and that would be on either. I mean, Thursday is really the best for me at this point, but a weekend game would be great as well. So if you have any spots open and you're looking for an experienced player, then just throw something there in the comments section. I'm willing to play anything D&D esque, including Castles and Crusades, or if you have Dungeon Crawl Classics or any of those things along those lines, that's what I'm really looking to jump back in and get some playing under my belt as well. Just to get back into the role playing aspects of playing as a player in a group. Really looking forward to it. So thanks for joining, and have a great rest of your day.